Hello and welcome to another wicked gameplay video. Today we're in Prepared and we're looking at one of the coolest aircraft I think is available in Prepar3d and also in FSX. This is also available. It's the Aerosoft Twin Otter X extended, which is really cool aircraft. Obviously it's a twin engine and it's a proper STOL aircraft, so short takeoff landing aircraft, so it doesn't need much runway to get off the ground or to land. And if you look up the actual aircraft on YouTube, you'll see some pretty amazing landings in these. Now here I've got a setup here with the Tundra wheels, which I'm a bit of a fan of for bush flying. You can also get this in a number of variations. I believe there's 11 different models that come with this. It also comes with, so what do we have? So we have the normal wheels, we also have the Tundra wheels, we have some floats, skis, and a number of different liveries. So there's a few different combinations that you can actually fly with. I've also checked out the floats, and they were pretty cool as well. So also floats with landing gear, so you can go from a runway or onto water and vice versa, which is really cool if you're wanting to do that. So today I'm just looking at the Tundra wheeled version because I like the idea of bush flying, but very cool. Model looks amazing. They've done a fantastic job on this aircraft. So let's have a quick little look around. You can just see how nice that model is. I mean, I just love these kind of aircraft, and it's actually a very nice aircraft to fly as well. It's quite enjoyable to fly, and it doesn't take too long to get going. It's quite simple once you understand the basics. What I have found though is it's the systems integration in this plane is pretty detailed. There's a lot of the checklist procedures that you can go through to get this plane going. We're not going to go through all those today because it just takes too long. But if you really want to go through the proper start procedures, checklists, and going through making sure that everything is tested and everything correctly, then this plane will allow you to do a lot of that. Most of the buttons and that are simulated in this aircraft as well, so we can have a look at that once we jump in the cockpit. What I might do though is have a little look at let me just get this checklist up. We'll see what doors and that are available to open. So it has this checklist here that we can use. I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller and get this back into proportion. Would have been cool if this had a corner arrow here that you could adjust to keep it on proportion. But we can see we can open some doors here. So we've got the captain's door, the first officer's door on the other side. Can we get around there? Yep. So you can see that's the first officer's door. We've got the passenger door here. So there's your passenger door. Service door, which I believe is around the other side. So there you go, there's the service door. Then we've got a rear cargo door, which should be, I believe, on this side. It'll probably close because I clicked it twice. Try again. So there's your rear cargo door. So it's got quite a few areas to stow things. And then you got the front cargo door. Pretty cool. There's also a cargo version of this, so there's quite a few versions to play around with if you have a preference. This is the passenger version, but there is a cargo version as well. So what I thought we might do is jump in the cockpit here. Now it sounds like it's powered up. I'm pretty sure it's not always like that, at least I didn't think it was. But that's how it is right now. So it kind of sounds like I have power, but I didn't actually turn on any of that power. I'm not really sure why that is. So here you can see the cargo area, or not cargo, the passenger area. We can just take a quick stroll through here just to see what the inside of this is like. Quite bare in terms of creature comfort, so it's designed to carry quite a few passengers. I think it's 21 people. So you can carry quite a few people. I'm not sure if these doors open from the inside, but you know, realistically you don't really need to. I'm pretty fine with that. So pretty cool that they did model the inside of this, but there's nothing really fancy going on here. At night it does light up the passenger area, so that's pretty cool. And we'll just make our way back into the cockpit. So you can see here we've got the cockpit area, the overhead panel, got a few switches up here. Most of these are all modelled, and never actually noticed this, but I guess this is your trims, your trimming area and stuff like that, trim switches. The only thing that's kind of strange, there's no way to hide this yoke, and I guess it's not that big a deal. You can see mostly everything. What we'll do is get started and we can have a look around at how that works. But okay, so first thing we need to do is unlock the safety there, and you can see here now that we can pull this out of the way if you really want to see stuff, but obviously you can't do that when you're flying. But I found it pretty good overall to see what you want to see. We have our standard instrument gauges here. Quite a nice instrument cluster, very well modelled, really cool, nice. We have our engine fire instructions with the engine fire levers and that sort of thing to put out fires. You've got your engine gauges here for your left and right hand sides. Navigation equipment, so you've got your radio stack. There's a flight data recorder here, which I have no idea what that's for. What else? We've got some sort of switches hiding down here. We've got a battery temperature. We've also got fuel tank. What is that? Fuel tank pressure? I think it's fuel pressure. Yaw damper switch. All the good stuff. So that pretty much covers most of it. Then we have so ignition switches here with some landing lights and that sort of thing to get started. Your sort of main pedestal, throttle, prop and mixture. Flaps. On this side we have windscreen, windshield washers and wipers. Some of the main switches up here, and fuses. Now not all these switches are modelled, like this FLT flight comp fans, whatever that's for, that's not modelled. So you will find there's a couple of things that aren't modelled, but the majority of them are. You can usually click most of these lights. And there was one switch here that did kind of trick me. I didn't notice it was here, but it's the inverter switch, and it took me ages to find this. But this is an inverter switch up here. It's kind of hiding over your head. So if you're going through the proper startup process, you'll need to set that. I mean, it's already set on 1 anyway, but you can set it on 2 if you wanted to. It's not a big deal, but just to be aware that it is up there. Okay, so now we've got this far in, I think we might as well get started. So we've also got a switch here for ram air. It's a fan vent switch and our park brake right here. There's also some switches here. I couldn't work out how to click these. I was left clicking and I couldn't open these safety covers, but you need to right click them and they'll open and close with a right click, which kind of just threw me off. Okay, so it's a pretty simple aircraft to get started. Let's have a little look at what we need to do. So I'm just going to set this on battery, set the master DC on. We can leave this. What else do we want to do here? Fuel mixture is off and props are set to this feather here. That's fine. What we want to do here is these are the fuel boosts, so we want to get these on. We want this fuel selector on normal. That is fine as well. So let me check if there's anything else I'm missing here that I need to do. We should probably turn on some lights here. Let's see what we got. Let's turn our no smoking and fuel Fasten seatbelt signs, anti-collision position lights on. Taxi, I think we can leave those off for the time being. We've got our generator switches here, so I think we're good to actually fire this thing up. So what we want to do is get back up here. We're going to hit the right switch. We obviously want to make sure that our fuel is set to off. Otherwise you can actually have an engine fire. So I'll right click this start button. That's going to get the right prop going. We'll watch our gauges here. And this is up to the 20 mark. And then we should be able to give this some fuel. That should fire the engine up on this side. And there we go. Right hand engine's up and running. Look at our gauges here. You can see that's starting to come around. Oil temperature's coming up. Oil pressure's fine. We can also test our, we've got a fuel test here to check these gauges are working correctly. So that looks fine, that's all looking good. Alright, so I haven't set up all my views yet on this aircraft, so I'm kind of fumbling my way around. Let's try the left engine again. Fuel's off here. Watch these gauges. Just going to watch for this bottom one here to come up to at least 20. Then I can actually flick the fuel on. And that'll fire up the engine. So there's our left engine. So I just check my lights here, see what else we got. So we've got some generators that need to be turned on. They're up here. Flick those on there. What else do we have? Doors unlocked. Reset props. Doors unlocked. I haven't seen that one before. So these here we're going to move to the forward position. Unlocked. I haven't seen that one before. That's an interesting one. Service door. Okay. I'll just click that and see if that closes it, which it has. And look, if you have a look through here, you'll see there's quite an extensive checklist that you can actually go through, and it is time consuming to go through this thing, which is why I haven't gone through it in this particular video. But interesting just to see how all the checks work. We've also got some of our data there for understanding details about the aircraft and how you should probably run this. I'm not going to be going through all that today. This is more of a quick look. You can click these and it'll run through the checks. If it's not done, it'll become a little red X and you can right click and activate that. You can also reset, clicking on the start of the checklist there. And if you click on any of these, it will take you to, well, in most cases, I think I've kind of buggered up the views. As you can see, that's not something weird. But if you haven't played around with the views like I have, it will take you to the correct panel to make the adjustment. Okay, so we need to turn on our radios. Closer here so I can see what I'm doing. Turn this on, this on, this on. Not that we're going to be using them for this video. Now we also have this warning here, which is actually okay. Once you rev the engines up, it will come down, it will turn off. But to do that, we also need to have our bleed air on. That pretty much puts us in a good position to get going. we're looking good. What I might do though before we do get going, let's have a quick look at, what is it I'm looking for? Time preview. I want to see this thing in the dark, so let's get this in the dark here. So we can have a look at the night lights. Should have turned on some lights. There is actually a light switch right here, which will light that up. And we get out instrument lights and interior lights, which is pretty cool. So you can see it's quite nicely lit up. We already have our taxi lights on. Just have a quick look at that. Taxi lights should be on. So if we have a look outside, you can see we've got our taxi lights there lighting up in front of the plane. And if we also turn on the landing lights, you can see the difference that makes. So that's what we look like with the night lighting, which is quite cool. I like it. Was there anything else? Was there any other lights here that were worth looking at? I think that pretty much covered it. Compartment lights. You can see that here, that lights up these little red ones. And the back there. So there's quite a few lighting options here. I'll turn that off. Also turns these backlights off. So that's that. We'll go back to the day view. Alright, so why don't we get going and see how we go. Just on a quick takeoff. We're in the Maldives here, I believe, the airport I'm at. So what we're going to do is get these brakes off. Get some throttle going. See the steer and everything works really well. So Aerosoft has done a really good job on this aircraft. I really like it. But it does require quite a bit of thrust just to get going. I think that's more of a prepared thing than anything else. This can become a bit of a hamster. I'm not staying on the taxi lines. Is going to give our flaps here, we're going to get them to 10 degrees of flaps. We should have more than enough runway just to get up into the air. We go to the right. Now it does have an autopilot, quite a simple one, but you'll see there's the, just in front of me here, just get straight on the runway here. Well, not even in the center, but anyway. You can see here, just next to my set altitude, there's the switch here for the autopilot, so you can set heading, nav, approach, all that stuff. It's a simple one, but it does work quite well. So, all right, let's get going. I'm going to give it some go here. Just see this thing just gets up quite easily. Very, very cool. Really nice. What I'll do is see if we can do a bit of a go around. Come back in for a landing. It's actually quite a nice plane to fly. It's very smooth. Relatively fast. It's not a super fast plane, but still, for the amount of people it can carry, it actually is quite fast, I think, for a regional kind of airliner. Love those tundra wheels. Very cool. Just come down a little bit. GPS, typical radio want to over rev this aircraft either. If you do, it is going to explode. Now I'm actually, I do have the props up pretty high, but that's only because I don't have throttle quadrant with a prop lever on it. I mean, I could do it from my keyboard, I guess, but I'm not going to just for this session. Taking our speed down a little bit. Runway for this aircraft, being able to land over a short area, short distance, it doesn't require much runway. I have all the lights on, taxi lights, which is not correct. I realise that, so some speed off. So it does take a little while for the engines to react. Looking around, instead of blowing out with the wrong way. Any time now would be good. Just try and flare a little bit here and get it down. There we go. Bit more practice, I can definitely get it down a much shorter distance than that. Very cool, I like this aircraft. Oh. What I might do is just load up the amphibian, just so you can have a little look at that, you know, in the water. We'll just see how that looks. So I'll park this here. I'll load the amphibian and we'll have a look at that in the water. So we actually have quite a few here. Let's go with the amphibian here. This one here, which actually has the landing gear. Okay, so it looks like it's going to reset the whole plane, I think. There we go, we've got all landing gears already down, which is kind of cool. Okay, so I just want to reset this. I'm going to set this in the ready to fly configuration. So you can just do that if you just want to get going straight away. got a generator here that's on. Not really sure why that's saying that. Left oil pressure. Is that engine running? Nope. There you go. That's why that would be it. So what we might do here is just do that. Start up the left engine again. Wait for this gauge here to come up to about 20, which it has. Put some fuel in there. We're good to go.
I forgot to disengage the start locks.
Okay, so then I've got these start locks, so I'll need to just engage the reversers here, and that should fix that. Yep. Okay, let's get going and we'll get into the water. It can be a bit tricky, I think, turning this with the floats. Kind of was when I tried it last time. Those engines. So we might just do a takeoff from the outside this time. Hopefully I don't crash. We'll just see what this thing looks like on takeoff. What we'll do is just land out in the ocean now, and we'll just see what this looks like in the air and in the water. Just lift this a bit straighter. Gear up. This is the flight version. What we'll do now is we'll just get this into the water, back up on the throttle here. exactly a good landing, but really cool. You get all that water spray in the water, which is kind of cool. Terrible landing. You get all that water spray in the water here. Do a quick takeoff. There you have it. The Aerosoft Twin Otter Extended. Very, very cool. Recommend it. Very nice aircraft. Quite fun to fly. Looking forward to spending some more time in this aircraft. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you want to leave a comment. Always great to hear from viewers. And let me know if you like this kind of thing, and if you want to see more prepared aircraft. And thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.